The British believed in the principle of once a British citizen, always a British citizen, and thought that they were well within their rights to force American sailors to work on board their ships. For many years, the British Navy carried out a policy called impressment, in which they forced non-British sailors and merchants to work on board their ships. This was a policy that had been part of all British wars since the 1600s and was not unique to the years in between the American Revolution and the War of 1812. Clearly, the Warhawks saw this practice as attacking the sovereignty of the United States, a clear reflection on the fact that the British did not respect the United States and that the British should be made to pay for this. This reached a peak in 1807 when the crew of the British ship Leopard stopped the United States ship Chesapeake off the coast of Virginia, demanding to be allowed to search the American ship for deserters from the British Navy. When the American captain refused, the British attacked the Chesapeake, killing 3 Americans and wounding 18. The British forced themselves on board the ship and arrested 4 of those sailors, 3 of whom were Americans. Even though 2 of those prisoners were returned to the United States before the war even started, Americans were outraged that an incident such as this would take place just off their coast. In, in response to what became known as the Chesapeake Affair, President Jefferson urged Congress to pass the Embargo Act. This act prevented all U.S. ships from departing for a foreign port. Jefferson believed that this would hurt both England and France, but the reality was something quite different. Trade in the United States went almost to zero, and the northeastern part of the country, primarily New England, was outraged at Jefferson's actions. The newspapers of the region began to push for the election of Federalists, the party opposed to Jefferson, and drew political cartoons to express their anger.